Hi, this is Judy Forbin, found on Instagram and Facebook as the Edgy Consultant. Welcome to this week's audiocast where we're talking about grant writing for those who want to win grants. This session is designed to help you focus your thoughts and research to write the need statement. Today we're focusing on 3 simple keys to a killer need statement. If you've written a grant before, then you know that need statements can mean the difference between getting your program funded or struggling for another year or more with inadequate resources. So today, I will focus on need statements, why they are important to your overall application, and the 3 must-have powerful keys you need to present your strongest need statement ever. First, the need statement is key to your proposal success because it's here that you will describe the problem your organization is trying to solve. You will convince the reader as to why your organization is the best one to do it and ultimately prove beyond doubt that the grant maker should be jumping at the opportunity to help you bring this thing to fruition. So there's no room for a lackluster need statement. It really is the linchpin of the entire document, and you should give it your best. I have seen way too many applications that were barely more than fancy testimonials and feel-good statements about the work that they would do if they were given money. Remember that grant-making organizations want to fund quality programs. Your job here is to convince them as to why it should be your program. So let's jump right in to the 3 keys that every need statement needs. Key number 1, your program purpose and goals. Here you are going to outline what problem are you working to solve. And that problem is a concrete one. I need to repeat that. It is a concrete problem. It is not a vague description of a perceived problem or your observances. Though those may be important, they simply aren't valid for the purposes of your grant application. So you may have observed that children don't get enough food to go to school, and so they're hungry, and that affects their school scores. That may just be your observation or what you think is the reason. That's not enough when you're putting a program together and they're requesting thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars from a grant organization. So that's why data here is so important, and it is where many organizations, especially new ones, fall short. Because let's face it, mining for data can be a trudging, time-consuming task, and few people relish it. However, brushing up on some basic research skills will go a long way to strengthening your proposal. And since this is usually a sore point for organizations, next week we'll be talking about how to find data, how to mine statistics on the internet, and I will do a tutorial on that, so please check back in. So going back to key number 1 of a program purpose and goals, in describing the problem that you're working to solve, the need that that problem creates should appear. So I like to use examples, and in this example, I've made up the Acme Urban Farmers Org, and they're writing a grant because they need a greenhouse to grow various fruits and vegetables during the colder months of the year. So at first glance, you would think, well, the greenhouse is a need, or the lack of a greenhouse is the need. But stay with me, because it isn't. The problem you're trying to solve here isn't creating a greenhouse to grow fruits and vegetables. The problem you're trying to solve is that there is a food desert that exists in this community, and it has a negative impact on it. So here's where you need data then to prove that need, to prove that this is truly a problem, to outline just how devastating this food desert is. And so you may look up rates on obesity, chronic disease, poor scores, etc. And then this brings us to our second key, because now you've supplanted with facts and figures that there is a need. You've outlined what that problem is, and now here is the real meat and potatoes, why you are the solution to the described problem that you successfully framed. So key number 2, why you are the solution. If you're a basketball fan like me, then you know that Allen Iverson of the 76ers was known as the answer, AI the answer. Do you know why he was called that? Well, he was exactly what the Philly team needed, the answer to their prayers. He brought scoring titles, MVP awards, and even a trip to the NBA Finals. So as you write your needs statement, you have to show how your program is the AI, the answer to the need that you highlighted in your program's purpose and goals. Be as descriptive as possible. Use descriptive language and lay out your objectives and your goals, as well as the activities the program will provide to meet those goals. Convey passion in your writing, but do so with a purpose. I'll go back to the beginning when I said, a lot of grant applications just come across as fancy testimonials because they use a lot of big, beautiful language, and it, gets into the heart and spirit of the reader that this is a real problem affecting the community. But where they often drop the ball is showing proof that this is a true problem. So now okay, before I even start using those big and beautiful words, I need facts and figures to shore that up. And so you're going to convey passion in your writing, but you're doing it with a purpose. When you talk about sick babies or the obesity epidemic or smoking in your community or opioid drug addiction, whatever the issue is, and I'm just using ones that just quickly come to mind, but there's so many out there, you're going to use words that cultivate compassion in the reader, but that compassion is there based on your clearly documented problem that you've used statistics and data to supplant, to shore up. So that's step number 2, why you are the solution. You've described your program, and you know this program is the solution to this problem. You've laid out all of the activities that you're going to do and how it's going to impact this food desert, for example. And here is the third key, your capability statement. Are you able to deliver the program that you're proposing? So let's go back to the Acme Farmers Org example. If I were the organization, I would make sure in my capability statement to detail exactly how the greenhouse program will be implemented, because I want to show that I have the staff to assign to carry out the activities, or that I can hire them. I have a location, maybe a community garden plot, a breakdown of my program implementation guideline, the activities I have planned to include the community. And I want to stop and talk here a bit about including the community and collaboration, because in our nonprofit climate, getting grants is such a competitive sport, if I may, that organizations or foundations are willing to fund organizations that are in collaborations, whether you have a memo of understanding, whether there's more than one organization going in to shine light on a need to make a change. They would prefer to fund an organization that is not solely dependent on their funding, one, and is also willing to work and knows how to work with the community to increase the reach and impact of their activities. So perhaps in your capability statement, you may want to talk about how you will collaborate with a community group that runs the urban garden to increase reach and impact. And then finally, you want to ensure that in your capability statement, you want to show the plans that the organization has to ensure that the community gets the food that is grown in that greenhouse that's going to be financed, and pursues the goal of now becoming a healthy food oasis as opposed to the food desert that it currently is. And you want to turn that into a sustainable program. So these are your 3 keys to a killer need statement. Your program purpose and goals, why you are the solution to that problem, and your capability statement that shows that you have everything that it takes to run this program and to effect change. Note that your program paragraphs must have specific details that highlight the actions your organization will take. Here I like to use the 3 C's. Be clear, be concise, and be compelling. And let's throw in an S, be as specific as possible. There's no time for vague need statements. In a future video, we'll talk about measuring the success that you're sure to have because you've laid out your program in such an intuitive way. Because we've identified the problem, we know what our solution is because it is based on facts and figures. And the next step is, but does it work? How will we know that it works? That and more will cover our next week's grant writing tips for those who want to win them. Until then, see you next time. And as always, share with someone you know, and look out for my posts on Instagram and Facebook at The Edgy Consultant. See you soon.